What is going on, everybody? Rainy day here in Eastern North Carolina, and I got a lot of requests for this video when I initially put up a sneak peek of it. So what this one is, if you can't tell by the title, is rolling anti-lag or rolling boost builder with a Holley system and how easy it is. Before we get into that, hey, can we just talk real quick about, we have an overstock on the website, guys. I don't know if you guys know, we sell merchandise, clappedout.com/store. Link is going to be right here in the description, on the Facebook page, website, whatever we're on. Look, Gapple Juice, fuel jug identifiers, help us stick it to the man. We literally lost a trademark on this to big corporate American companies. F those guys. Make sure you're safe. Whack off battery kill switch indicators, keep your stuff safe. NHRA rules dictate you have to have your battery kill switch positively identified. What better way to do it with a sense of humor? OG chopping trees, and then we got the Schmediums back in stock, a big old 7-inch wide version of it. So if you wanted these, they're on the store. And then, guys, we're absolutely overstocked on clapped out koozies. And I know what you're thinking. Who the hell is gonna pay $1 for a koozie, which is basically a brown paper bag? Well, don't feel dumb about paying $1 for a paper bag koozie, because there are thousands of other idiots out there who paid well north of $300 for a Yeti cooler. So who's dumb now? So let's get it. This is my 94 Mustang Turbo LS goodness, forged 6.0 under the hood. It's got a forged crank rods, pistons, obviously a whole bunch of other stuff. 92mm billet VS Racing turbo. All ran on Holley EFI Terminator X. The car's been as quick as 851. 858 in the quarter mile, 542 in the eighth mile. Now, what I did in that video, which I'm gonna show you guys right here, is basically activated my launch control strategy that I use at the track while rolling down the road in second gear at about 55 to 60 miles an hour. Now, how did I do that without applying the trans brake? It's very simple. I'm not the pioneer of anything here, guys. I'm gonna show you a wiring diagram. This is my bump, this is my trans brake. When I hold this, it engages the trans brake, provided this switch right here, which is my arming switch, is activated. This has to be turned on. If it's not turned on, it will not apply the trans brake. Now, this was put in here simply to save me from myself. This is a drag week car. Rolling down the road, you're hot, you're tired, you're fatigued, and you start playing with buttons on the steering wheel while you're driving. I did not want to inadvertently apply the trans brake button and lock the transmission up while I'm rolling down the road. So I literally did it as a safety device. And I was driving the car around one day and I thought to myself, what if? So I called my trans guy and I was like, hey, what do you think would happen if I hit this button and built boost from a roll, say second gear, and let go of it and let the car fly? And he said, you know what? I don't know. It could grenade it, it could not. I figured in my head, it can't be any worse than leaving in second gear, which there are thousands of drag cars out there that do that with a second gear leave trans brake. So I gave it a shot. And to my delight, it worked very well, in fact. Let's look at the data. So that video that I just showed you guys, this is the data right here. You can see down here, this bright red line is where I take off. We go rolling along, click it into second gear, and then the green line right here, when it heads north, that is me engaging the trans brake button. Again, the arming switch is not armed, so it's not gonna apply the trans brake. I'll show you the wiring diagram in a second. The purple line right here heading north is my throttle position input. And you can see immediately the squiggly line on the RPM starts to popping and banging. The dark red line down here starts to climb north. Right here, when I let go of the button on the steering wheel on that green line, you can see we're making 5.2, almost 6 pounds of boost. Right there, 6 pounds of boost rolling down the road. No foot. This is not boost building. I'm not brake boosting in this. I'm literally grabbing the button on the steering wheel and flooring it. That's it. Letting the car do its thing. I don't have a mile-an-hour input on this data log, unfortunately, to show you guys, but I can assure you it was right around 55, 60 miles an hour. Now, the second I let go, you can see the RPM fly up, and it goes from 3,800 and spikes and flashes the converter to about 5,300 RPM. The boost, this is what's impressive to me, goes from 5.8 pounds directly to 19.4, almost 20 pounds of boost. That little span of time right there is about 1 to 1.1 seconds. So from a roll, big old honking 92 millimeter turbo, 6 to 20 pounds of boost in an instant, essentially. And that, by the way, is with the same boost strategy that I run at the track, which actually ramps the boost in to keep it from knocking the tires off. And we did it out here in Mexico, which looks nothing like Eastern North Carolina whatsoever. And it absolutely stuck it after one quick pedal. We ran out in third gear, partied a little bit. Bob's your uncle, rolling boost builder, rolling anti-lag. Now I'm calling it boost builder because that's what Holley calls it in the Dominators and the Holley HPs. This will work on that as well. But what I have in that car is a Terminator X, which doesn't actually have a boost builder on it. But this is how this is all wired in. I got a million questions about how I did it. So this cartoon-like schematic right here, you see I got 12 volt right here on the battery. This is the brains of the operation besides the ECU. This is the NOS or Holley solid state relay, whatever you want to call it. You have an orange 12 volt input, blue output, which is going to manage the trans brake. The ECU pulse width modulates this trigger wire right here for bumping in, like that smooth staging. On the steering wheel, I got a bump button and the trans brake. Now, if I interrupt, this is the arm switch I showed you on the dash. If I interrupt this 12 volt signal going in, it is impossible for 12 volts to go out. And the relay won't do a damn thing when it sees the output. So the ECU is none the wiser. It has no idea what is going on out here. So if I apply the trans brake, the ECU just goes party time, and it goes and reverts to the launch strategy that I have built in, which is this. This is the table that I use to manipulate timing, and I'll be completely honest and upfront with you guys, it is not the best. The car is still a little bit laggy. There's a very large turbo for a 6-liter, so it needs some improvement. But you can see I advanced the timing. This is what I'm experimenting with right now. I advance the timing a little bit aggressively as the boost starts to come up. Then I start to pull it down to see if it'll stabilize. Again, do not put these numbers into your car. I need a ton of work on this, but as you can clearly see from a roll, it works very, very good. And the cool part about the Holley is you can have multiple inputs, like you can do multiple things with a single input. So input number 2 is my trans brake. So that's the staging input, my rev limiter number 1, as well as the trans brake. Up here, staging input number 2 is the bump button. I also have flex fuel, dome map. Under the outputs, we got methanol control, boost increase, boost decrease, and my staging output. So again, I'm not a pioneer of this whatsoever. This wiring diagram you can find anywhere, maybe not in this exact format. I'll put a good clear picture in the comments on Facebook for you guys, but I'm not the first person to do this. But I got a million questions, so it just led me to believe that maybe not a lot of people realize how absolutely simple this is, and it's a ton of fun. Again, be sure to consult the guy that built your transmission, or if you don't care, don't hold me responsible for if you're grenading something on the thing. But I feel like this would be a ton of fun at some of these events with roll racing, like Texas 2K, Texas Invitational, Streetcar Takeover, like their King of the Bakery. I may throw my hat in the ring on that to see if I can make this thing work just a little bit better. But all in all, man, it's a super fun thing to play with. It's just one more element, and literally, I didn't have to change anything about the car other than flip a toggle switch. Turn the toggle switch off, it's roll race ready. Flip the toggle switch on, we're going dig racing. That's pretty fucking sweet in my book. Anyway, head over to clapped.com/store. We are going to be plussing up the merchandise. Get yourself a koozie, get yourself a sticker, stick it to the man. We need as much help as we can to fight our legal battles, which we have absolutely zero intent of actually showing up for. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. Peace.